We are Markstrat Team T, also known as Team Tanbury. I'm Anna Wynn, along with Brenda Gerardo. We are going to share our Markstrat simulation experience we had with our marketing management class. Here is an overview of the agenda that we're going to discuss. First, we're going to go over the firm overview, the overall performance, the segmentation and targeting, the marketing mix with the 4 Ps, product, price, place, and promotion, and we're going to wrap up with the lessons learned. Moving on over to the firm overview, Tanbury operated for 6 periods, marketing 4 Sonite brands, targeting 3 segments. First, Tone was our top brand that did well throughout the simulation. Tone geared towards the high earners and focused on performance and convenience and distributed quite evenly to all distribution channels with the specialty stores, mass merchandising, and online. Next, our product tops did fairly well. In the beginning, since we targeted more than one segment, it didn't do very well, but tops had a great value for performance and convenience, which the shoppers really liked. The next are Tonic and Toxic. We attempted to launch these 2 brands towards the explorers. We saw one of our competitors, Team R brand, Rose, was the only product gearing towards that segment and wanted to launch a product that would be able to compete both with high performance and low convenience, but both product launches did not do so well and were immediately removed from the market after they launched. Moving on next over to the overall performance, starting off with the firm's performance. We started off very weak in the beginning but maintained consistency and growth. We ended up finishing 3rd out of 5 with a shared price index of 967. So in the beginning, we started out at share price index of 670 after round 1. Then we took 2 hits for 2 rounds due to launching a new brand in a research and development project that failed. The price stock after the final simulation ended up at 967, which we still ended up 3rd. Brand performance. Tone was our top brand. The brand awareness for high earners were extremely high and ended at 78%. We were able to reduce advertising and research since the brand awareness was high throughout the simulation. Our next brand, Tops, it was pretty weak in the beginning, but ended up as the top selling brand. We segmented it several segments in the beginning with savers, explorers, and shoppers, which was not a good idea, as we mentioned. The brand awareness, although was still quite high in each of those segments. Savers was at 49%, explorers was at 68%, and shoppers was at 75%. Tonic and Toxic both were extremely weak and did not do well with the brand performance. Moving on over to segment performance. Tone, with the high earner segment at 30.4%. It was 2nd after Loop at 30.8%. Team L increased their commercial team tremendously to gain a little bit more of the market share, but overall, Tone dominated throughout the simulations. Moving on over to Tops. Once we focused solely on the shopper segment, we increased the advertising for Tops and commercial team dollars, and the results have made us have the most market share of shoppers at 47%. Tonic and Toxic, again, did not do very well. They were less than 1% in all consumer segments. Now let's change gears and look at the overall financial performance. We had a steady increase in revenues after each period. Our cost of goods sold compared to our competitors were extremely high, which we believe is the reason why our net earnings were not as high. We had to sell more products in order to recover from those expenses. We should have focused on a product that did not cost as much. If we were able to do so, we would have been able to maximize our returns. Now, Brenda is going to discuss the marketing perspective of our experience with Markstrat.
Market segmentation and targeting is the process of dividing an entire market up into different customer segments. Some important key factors to keep in mind are which segment to target, how to design products satisfying the needs of each segment, how to position new brands effectively, how to reposition existing brands to better fit customers' needs. Our market segmentation approach was not very effective in the beginning. We targeted more than one segment in each brand, which our results were unfavorable. Once Ann and I focused on one segment per brand, we noticed an increase in our market share in the segments that we were targeting. As Ann mentioned earlier, Tone targeted high earners, Top targeted shoppers, and Toxic attempted to target explorers. We targeted high earners at the beginning since they were a high growth segment, which resulted in favor. Products. In order to target our consumer segments effectively, we had to gear our brand characteristics towards our specific segment. For example, high earners like to buy expensive products due to their social status while demanding performance and convenience. Our price was at $440 with a high power of 75, the display was 24, battery life was 74, design index was 7, and it had 16 features. Our strategy was to match the product with user preferences. We applied repositioning strategies in non-commercial advertising, commercial teams, and perceptual advertising. In order for us to implement our repositioning strategies, we utilized the multi-dimensional study and consumer segment ideal product. Unfortunately, we didn't do a very good job in repositioning Tonic or Toxic. We should have mimicked our competitors who were doing good in the Explorer segment, which we failed to do so. For price. Price is a tool to communicate marketing. The biggest mistake you can do when it comes to pricing is focusing just on cost and or not changing prices to address competition. The price elasticity changes in price. The recommended retail price is the price that you specified in your marketing mix decision. The average retail price is the average end user price, taking into account the discount offered by distributors. Finally, the average selling price is equal to the average retail price minus the distribution margin. As you can see in our chart, our prices are relatively high for the most part because we had to keep up with our competitors and not be left behind. With our Tone products, we use marketing skimming by starting at a higher price and lowering it over time based on other competitors' pricing. Place. It is important to research and place products in the distribution channel. In the beginning, we did not do much research on our segment buying behavior. As the simulation went on, we utilized the shopping habits study that informs us of where our segments like to shop. We then reposition our commercial teams accordingly to the distribution channels that our segments preferred. We were able to increase market share in this segment and increase our brand awareness. We then have promotions. Although in period 1 we didn't have any communication dimensions, however the message quality was excellent throughout the other periods. And we focused on communicating performance and convenience, which increased our sales. Once you have identified your target market, you now have to come up with different ideas on how to attract your customers. Throughout market simulation, we learned the value of promotions through advertising and commercial teams. From period 1 through 6, we increased our commercial advertising and competitive advertising in the amount of $9,000. It was not really a priority at first, but later on in our revenues, we started seeing an increase in market share. We spent lots of money with advertising for tone in the beginning, and brand awareness levels became so high that we didn't have to promote so much in the later periods. Most of our advertising money went to tops and tone in order to market our brand. And now I am going to pass it back to Anne so that she can do a run-through of the lessons learned in Markstrat.
There were several lessons learned throughout our Markstrat simulations. They all correlate with each other, and I'm going to start off with segmentation and targeting. It is extremely important to only target one brand towards one segment at a time. In the beginning, we targeted tops with several segments, and it was not doing well. Once we focused just on one segment, we were able to increase our sales and our brand awareness towards the shopper segment. Another lessons learned with segmentation and targeting is that you should definitely target a high growth segment initially, as well as a segment that is going to grow within the future in the next 5 years, which was going to be in our Markstrat simulation were the shoppers and the savers, but we did not want to compete with that market because they were not growing immediately, and whenever we decided that we should have, it was too late to get into that market. Moving on next over to market research studies. Definitely utilize these tools because they will give you all the information you need in order to know how to reposition your products amongst your competitors. If we would have used the shopping habits study earlier on, we would have known where to distribute our commercial teams in those channels. Moving on over to the marketing mix. The marketing mix is made up of 4 P's: price, product, price, place, and promotion. And they all correlate and they're all equally important. Do not focus just on 1 or 2 P's or even 3 P's. Make sure you focus on all 4 because they make an impact on how to reposition your brands and to make them more effective amongst your competitors. Moving on over to R&D projects. Our products did not change throughout all 6 simulations. We should have focus on adjusting our brand characteristics, especially for tops, for it to be able to compete early on with the explorers. We would recommend to launch an R&D project early on in the simulations in order for it to be effective. Last but not least, make sure to focus on your advertising and commercial teams. They are the ones that will boost your brand awareness. We did not focus much on advertising and commercial teams in the beginning, but once we did, our brand awareness increased, and it was able to make us earn more market share. So overall, we learned a lot of marketing concepts throughout this experience with our Markstrat share as a whole, and we now have a better understanding of marketing management as a whole. Thank you.